الله أكبر.
Go to Yemen and teach the people their religion. And they say he was walking with Mu'adh, and Mu'adh was on the mount on his ride, and the Rasul is walking next to him, giving him the advices that we heard. And then towards the end of this walk and this advice, he says, يا معاذ إنك عسى ألا تلقاني بعد عامي هذا. O Mu'adh, it might be that you will not see me after this again. When your father tells you that you might not see me after this trip again, it tugs at the heart. It makes you sentimental, emotional. The Rasul wasn't their father. He was the dearest thing to them. You know, in battle, Talha ibn Ubaydullah stood up. He said, Ya Rasul, lower your neck. Nahri duna nahrik. Better my throat than your throat. Let the arrows hit me and not hit you, O Prophet of Allah. They would meet him and say, فَدَيْنَاكَ بِآبَائِنَا وَأُمَّهَاتِنَا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. May our fathers and mothers be sacrificed for you, O Prophet. Their love for the Prophet was unmatched. Now the Rasul says, Ya Mu'adh, you might not see me after this. And he says, you might return and find my masjid and my qabr, but I mightn't be here. So they say Mu'adh, فَبَكَى Mu'adh, and Mu'adh wept. But look at the heart. He doesn't say, خلاص ya Rasul, I will stay here until inshallah the ajal passes. But he says, the order of the messenger has come for me to go to Yemen. I will go, I mightn't see my Rasul after. So Mu'adh went, and this was the first hint he gave to one of the ummah. And then after Shawwal came Dhul Qa'dah, and the messengers were sent out. Go and declare, make the proclamation that the Rasul is going to Hajj this year. And you must understand, the peninsula has become Muslim. And thousands have become Muslims but not seen their Prophet, not talked to their Prophet, not sat with their Prophet. Now is an opportunity, an excuse to go with the Rasul on this blessed journey to Hajj. So people flocked into Medina. The scholars say 100,000 came. Muslims from as far and wide as you can imagine into Medina to join with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and this Hajj. And then 4 days left from Dhul Qa'dah, the Rasul marches out. It's a Saturday and it is Zuhr. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed Zuhr and he marched out to Dhul Hulayfa. He stayed in Dhul Hulayfa the night, and in the morning after Zuhr put on his ihram and started to move towards Hajj. And Jabir ibn Abdullah says, I looked ila madda basari, so far as my eyes could see, between the hands of the Prophet, as in front of the Prophet. There were people either walking or riding, and I looked at his right. So far as my eyes could see, there were Muslims going to Hajj with him, riding or walking, and on his left and behind him. And this is almost a gift of Allah Rabbul Izzah. Like, Ya Rasul, do you remember when they used to torture you? Do you remember when they used to pelt you with stones? Do you remember when they traced your steps, abusing you and chucking abuses at you? Today look at the fruits of your toils, O Muhammad. The Jazeera has become Muslims. Your religion has reigned supreme. Allah Rabbul Izzah has brought about justice on the tongue of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and in the sunnah that he left. So he came out to Hajj, and in this Hajj, it is the first hint he gives the ummah. He says, خُذُوا مَنَاسِكَكُمْ عَنِّي فَإِنِّي لَا أَدْرِي لَعَلِّي لَا أَلْقَاكُمْ بَعْدَ عَامِي هَذَا بِهَذَا الْمَوْقِفِ أَبَدًا. O Muslims, take the rituals of Hajj from me, for I don't know if I will be with you here ever again. And the Ashab must have cried. They say Umar cried, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu cried, that these are hints that the Rasul mightn't be with us for much longer. And then he sallallahu alayhi wasallam performed the Hajj, and on the day of Arafat he sallallahu alayhi wasallam called the Muslims and they gathered near his tent in the Namira. And then he sallallahu alayhi wasallam came out to give them his farewell speech. And what a speech it is for a prophet, the last of prophets. No more to come after him. This is it. And he is giving his parting advices. So the Muslims have gathered the best of creation after the prophets. And then he says, after hamd and thana, إن دماءكم وأموالكم وأعراضكم حرام عليكم كحرمة يومكم هذا في شهركم هذا في بلدكم هذا. Verily, O Muslims, Muslims, your blood, Muslims, your blood, Muslims, your blood, your wealth, your honor is sacred like the sacredness of this day, in this month, and in this land. It is the land of the Haramain al-Sharifain. It is the land of Haram. Blood isn't allowed to be spilt in there. So like this day is sacred, so is the blood of a Muslim sacred. So is the wealth of a Muslim sacred. So is the honor of a Muslim sacred. And how cheap has become the sacredest thing in the eyes of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.